even more dramatic to me was the Macy Barber Miranda Maverick decision. And maybe you were on the other side of that. But round 1 and 2 were so easily Miranda Maverick rounds that we shouldn't even have to discuss. And for the fact that Macy Barber actually got one of those rounds on the scorecard was crazy to me. And so now you put her in position to win this fight. And that was one of those things. I watched Macy Barber fight off of her back foot, so much so that one of her coaches screams, "You actually have to try to hit her." When have we ever heard that scream from the corner of a fighter in the octagon? That never happens. And so Macy Barber obviously turns it on in the third round. I agree with all of the judges that should have been a round scored for her. But Miranda Maverick was robbed on this decision. And to me, when you're a fighter and you're an up-and-coming fighter like Maverick is, and you come out and you press the round 1 and through round 2 and you win those rounds, you deserve to have your hand raised after the fight. They don't get these fights back, DC. Yeah, you can run it back later.
No.
You can get a rematch. You can try to come back up the ranks, but you don't get that particular fight back, and this is a huge deal to me.
This one was bad. It was bad in the vein of Miranda Maverick deserved to win the fight. Seemed like rounds 1 and 2 were Miranda's, and when you have a champion like Valentina Shevchenko, you're trying to build momentum towards someone fighting her, right? Macy, while still a fantastic young fighter, I don't want her to think for any second that I'm crapping on her, but Miranda seemed to be the one that had the momentum. But now that momentum stumped for however long it is, Macy Barber now has to continue to build on what she just got. But we've seen some bad ones. And I think part of the reason is we've got some boxing judges calling these fights, or judging these fights. Mm-hmm. They don't quite understand the grappling and the transition on the ground. They kind of act like you a little bit, but they're watching these fights and they don't know.
Wow,
like,
again?
When it comes to the grappling at times, they're not giving enough value to the takedowns, the top control, and everything else. And that's why they're judging the fights in the way that they're judging them. And you know, man, it's unfortunate. And I hope that at some point we can get former fighters, guys that have been in there, guys that know that when two athletes come together and there's a short right hand that lands that may be missed by the blind eye, but they can see it because they've experienced on so many times. I think that is when we are going to see judging reach the level that it should for a sport that's as big as mixed martial arts and the UFC.